Okay, we're back. Let's see, where did I leave off? Oh, microphones. Okay, so we're using all Audix microphones on John's kit. Pretty cool as far as the way they're mounted inside. I'll go over the mounting systems in a minute, and actually on a previous segment that I taped, I showed you how to actually install them. So I don't know if you watched that. If you didn't, you can go back and watch it later. In the rack toms, we're using the D2, the Audix D2s. In the first 5 toms, as you can see here, the Audix D2. All right. In the 6th tom, we're using the D4. In the 18, we're using a D6, which is actually a bass drum microphone normally, and we are using those in the bass drums as well, D6s on both bass drums. Okay. The mounting systems, as you can see, are pretty simple. They just attach to your existing screws, and they're made by May. I'll show you over here the external May system. Okay. They plug in really easy, and they actually come out really easy too after pressing this. They won't come out once you plug them in, but they plug in pretty easy, and they won't come out. Pretty solid. And you can twist this to any angle you want, depending on how you want to be able to plug it in. It goes right through the vent hole of the drum. I had Pearl put 2 vent holes in the drum, so I could use one for mounting and one for an actual full breather hole. These do let out air through the top, but for hard hitters, in my opinion anyway, I don't think it's enough air, so I had them put two holes. So we have those on all the drums. They're mounted on all the drums, so very easy connection to mic up the drums themselves, as you can see here on the bass drums, the toms. Let's see the May systems, and in the bass drums we have a company called Kelly Shoe created these. Let's see that here. The Kelly Shoe kick drum microphone shock mounts. They are suspended in the drum, as you can see, by these bungee cords that are totally customizable. I cut those to length, and you do that depending where you want the mic to be. Fully adjustable, and you can adjust the mic on the mount back and forth, which is kind of cool too, to get it closer or further away from the batter side of the bass drum. Kelly Shoe. These travel like this too, and they've never fallen off. They're pretty good. Okay, so on the snare drum, we're using an I5 on the top, and we're using a D3, I believe, on the bottom. For this hi-hat, we're going to be using an ADX51, and for the auxiliary hi-hat as well, and for the overheads as well. See an overhead here. There'll be another one. There's one right here in the center. There'll be another one over here. Just haven't gotten the mount yet. And on the Chinas, we added some micro mics for the U.S. kit. We didn't use these before. We used them in Europe, but not here. Those will be on both the Chinas. There's one here, and there'll be one here when I get the clip. And that's it for microphones, I think. I forgot any microphones? No, that's it for mics. I believe it's like 16 channels of microphones. That's a lot of channels. Anyway, our triggers are made by Roland. They look like this and this. The trigger by Roland is very reliable. We used them all year to connect right to the rim. And the little spongy transducer thing presses up against the head, and you can adjust it with a drum key and this little button to go push it against the head or further away, depending on how you want it, depending on the sensitivity. And your trigger module might be double triggering, or you can just adjust that back and forth until you get what you want. I have 2 on each drum, one as a backup, and I usually run those into an Alesis DM5, which are mounted over here. We're just going to get a new system, a new mounting system this year. The DM5 on an AB switch. So if one goes out, all I got to do, switch them over, and we're good. So that's what we're using for triggers. Very simple. The simpler, the better. And that's it for mics. That's it for mounting systems. That's it for triggers. Last but not least, the most important part of the drum set, the bobbleheads. The bobbleheads. In the U.S., John decided to fancy up his kit with these bobbleheads. We have the master, Gene Simmons, here. Next to him, Peter Criss, Paul Stanley, and the rest of Kiss, Ace Frehley. Next to him is Kerry King from Slayer. And the Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula, Leatherface. Now, usually here on the bass drum, we have Freddy Krueger. But I couldn't bring myself to put Velcro on this pretty drum. So, he's over here, on his right. You can still see him. And then usually on this bass drum, of course, Jason. That's it for bobbleheads right now. We might get more this year. We'll see. I don't know where I'm going to put them. But, excuse me. Hiding over here in his drink holder is, of course, every drum set needs an animal. So here's Animal hanging out, waiting for his drinks. And that's it for bobbleheads. If you haven't seen the bobblehead case yet, here it is. Courtesy of our friend Matt Borgen, or Borkin. Can't remember how to say his last name. I think it's Borkin. And these are all the slots for his bobbleheads. Got to protect them, right? So there you go. Everything gets a case. All right, well, later on we'll be getting the cases in, and I'll do another update to show you the cases. But that's it, I believe, for now. In the last segment, I covered the drums. We just covered all the mics and the triggers and stuff. If you have any questions, please comment. And if I forgot to mention anything, I apologize. But, oh, I did. Lord Vader. How could I forget about Lord Vader? Because he's hiding here, waiting to attack on the front of the kit. Anyway, thanks for watching this week, and keep watching, because once we get on tour, I'll be doing updates pretty much every day. And I like doing them, and I hope you like watching them. Tell your friends, and keep checking back. This will be some fun stuff and some cool stuff from tour, I'm sure, this year. All right, we'll see you on the road. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.